Good morning. It's Monday, June the 15th, and this is Wisdom for Your Week. One of the interesting things about being a pastor is how people act differently around you just because you're a pastor. They change the way they talk, the language they use. They demand their kids behave differently than they normally do. They put some things away at home if they know the pastor is coming for a visit. It becomes very important to some people what the pastor sees and hears and knows about them. Usually much less important to most of us is what God sees and hears and knows about us. The same people who go out of their way to keep something hidden from another man rarely consider that nothing is hidden from God. We see that truth in Proverbs 15 verse 3 that says, "The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good." This is one of the most important verses in the Bible about what scholars call the omniscience of God. That's a fancy word that just means that God knows everything, that nothing is hidden from God. His knowledge is complete and perfect. This verse is the perfect good news, bad news scenario. On the one hand, it's good news that God sees everything and knows everything about us, and that nothing is hidden from His sight, because that means He knows your hurts and your fears and your worries. He knows your true motives, even when someone else might question them. He knows the good and the godly things that you do that nobody else knows about. He knows the sacrifices that you make that never get acknowledged or appreciated. God knows all those things, even if no one else does, not even the pastor. And He stands ready to bless you and reward you for those things. But on the other hand, of course, that means that God knows and sees the evil things you do, the sin that you might be able to hide from other people. He knows the hatred you may have for another person, the unforgiveness in your heart, the lust, the prejudice, the bitterness, the selfish motives for doing good things. You might hide all those things from everyone else, including the pastor, but you can't hide them from God because He sees and knows everything. So then the good news is that God sees and knows everything, and we're thankful for that. We're encouraged in that. But the bad news is that God sees and knows everything, and that should make us continually check our heart for anything that shouldn't be there. And that is wisdom for your week.